Good day everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. For this video we have the Elecam Explorer S action camera, and this one comes in either orange or black, and I have to say that I prefer the orange one over the black one. I think it looks much cooler. This camera costs around $60, it can make a Wi-Fi network and supposedly it can record in 4K, but since we have the Allwinner V3 CPU and that CPU doesn't actually support 4K recordings, all the 4K recordings that you're gonna get from this camera are in fact 2K recordings that are interpolated to 4K recordings, so always keep that in mind. Aside from that, we have the Sony IMX 179 image sensor. Alright, and before we go any further, can you help me out by pressing that like button? And there is something else. The first 3 comments that write cigar in them, so the word cigar, will get one of these. So I'm going to be sending 3 of these away. So definitely write the word cigar in your comment, and if you're among the first 3, you will get one of these. Let's start with a very quick unboxing. So the camera comes in a decent looking box. On the front we see a picture of the camera, and on the back we see some specifications. Inside we are going to find the camera and the waterproof case. The manufacturer suggests that the waterproof case is good to up to 30 meters in the water. However, I didn't actually go that deep in the water, but I did take this with me in the water every single day, so it's definitely waterproof. There is also a user manual in there, and the user manual has got a whole bunch of pictures and instructions. Aside from that, we are going to find a whole bunch of mounts, stickers and accessories for the camera. The camera itself doesn't feel cheap like most other cheaper cameras that we've seen here on the channel. So on the front we have the lens and the power button, and that's also the mode button. On top we have the OK and the recording button, and there is also an LED light there. On the left hand side of the camera we have the HDMI port. We also have a micro USB charging port, the slot for the SD card and a microphone. This camera can record while it's charging, and you can also use this cam as a dash cam because we have the car mode available, and that means that the camera will turn on and off depending if the car is on or off. As for the microphone, well, you know what happens with the Allwinner V3 CPU, so the sound is kind of out of sync, but I'm gonna let you watch a couple of clips so you can see for yourself how the microphone sounds. Alright, and for our first microphone test, as you can probably tell, I am inside and there is no other noise aside from my voice, so this is how the microphone sounds. And for the second test, I am outside and there is no wind, there are some birds singing, but aside from that you should only be hearing my voice. On the other side of the camera we have 2 buttons, one up, one down, and if you press the button up you can actually turn on the Wi-Fi network, and you can also zoom with those buttons. At the bottom we have a 900 mAh removable battery that will last for about an hour recording at 1080p at 60 frames per second, or about 40 minutes of recording at 4K at 30 frames per second. And lastly, on the back we have a 2-inch display that doesn't have the best viewing angles and it doesn't get that bright, so it's kind of difficult to actually see this outside. Next we are going to check out some daytime recordings, and keep in mind that this camera doesn't have any type of image stabilization. And in my opinion that footage didn't look that great, so I've seen much better than this one for sure. But next let's check out some nighttime footage. And as you've seen, nighttime recordings are much worse than the daytime recordings, so we don't really get good recordings during the day or at nighttime. But let's check out some pictures that I took with this camera, because you can definitely take some pictures with this camera. If you have enough light, well, the pictures don't turn out good. If you don't have enough light, the pictures still don't turn out good. So you can't really record or take any pictures with this camera because everything looks pretty bad. This camera can also make a Wi-Fi network, and it can be controlled from your smartphone. So you're gonna have to download an app called the Explorer S, and you can find that in the Google Play Store or the App Store. Once you have that installed, you're gonna turn on the Wi-Fi network on the camera by pressing that button up on the side. Next, you're gonna connect to that Wi-Fi network with your smartphone, and then you're gonna open the app. From the app, you can start recording, you can take pictures, you can change the resolution for the camera, and basically any settings that you may want to change. You don't actually have to touch the camera, you can do everything from the app. This works good up to 10 meters away from the camera. And lastly, using the camera, it's fairly simple. So you're gonna turn on the camera, and then with that mode button, you can switch in between video recording, picture recording, to view whatever you have on the camera, and the settings. For settings, we don't have that many options, so you can change the resolution for the video recordings, you can change the resolution for the pictures, you can change the languages and a few other things, but realistically we don't have that many options or settings for this camera. So there you have it, this is the Elecam Explorer S. So daytime recordings don't look good, nighttime recordings don't look good, pictures don't look good. The only thing that looks good is the camera itself. Other than that, well, I would probably skip this one and buy a different one because the quality from this one is not the best. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.